the Real Wargamer, with a Rebel Yell, Gordon's Assault, noisy chair, Module 3 rules. I wanted to show this on camera just to show that this can happen. Yeah, let me see, review this real quick. So the see, Confederate 4-3 advanced here. Yeah, they took advanced fire from this stack and had no results. I didn't leave any results out, so I'm assuming they didn't take any results. But then for this stack with the 4-1 regimental flag, I left the advanced fire marker out. They fired. What's relevant here is that they have a it's not called base firepower, but they have a computed firepower of 12 up to +1 obviously for advancing target. +1 for advancing target, another +1 for being in the clear, a target in the clear for +2 or up to. And then they rolled a 0, best possible roll, and so that is a 3 result. So they blew the first top unit away, off the field, blown away. So our first destroyed unit. Now here's where it started to get tricky. I thought about it. Anyways, actually I do have to talk about. So what do you do with the resulting disorganization check? Okay, by reason, I guess that's all I can say. The reasoning through the rules, I am still assuming that the next unit has to take the disorganization check because it's for the stack. So I don't see how the disorganization check could go away with the unit that was destroyed, because again, it should be the stack. But the rules make it unusual. Like the rules say, quote, unit must make organization check, unquote. I mean, well, if you consider that that's the destroyed unit, then it doesn't make sense that it's going to do, or what's the point of it doing the organization check? Anyways, I'll say unit is the next unit in the stack. 4-3 has a morale of 5 +1 for the regimental flag, and they rolled a 6, just barely enough. So they are not disorganized. So yeah, first loss. Didn't really take that long to have our first complete unit loss. Yeah, so I definitely wanted to show that. So this is the first on the 18 to 21 firing factors line, is the first one where you get a possibility of a 3 combat result, which again, a unit can take 3 hits before it is destroyed. Alright, so I'll continue on with the rest of the advancing. Actually I'm moving on to 3-3 and 1-3. So there were a couple more O-hits and disruption that the Union caused as the rest of the Confederate line advanced and made contact there. What I noticed is that the Union extends beyond the far Confederate right there. It's interesting. Can't do, which is good. It seems like you cannot do a lot of fancy maneuvering within your brigades in order to stay within command control. I'm not sure I captured this on camera, but we did have our first routed stack there. If I remember correctly, they routed because they were already disrupted, and then they failed a disorganization check. So a disrupted unit that fails a disorganization check must route. Retreat the routing unit 3 hexes towards a friendly board edge. Friendly board edges vary according to scenario. So first routed stack. So a lot of variability actually with how this all transpired, this first solid contact here. So we're going to go on to, okay, P2 action segment. So now the Union have an action segment, and all their fire has, has the penalty of -2, not all of the fire, but the whole line with advanced fire markers means that they have the -2 penalty, and they do not obviously get the +1 for an advancing target. So we'll see. I mean, I am going to have the Union advance on the far left there and get on the flank of 1-3. Talking about over here, I am going to have them advance there, but the unfortunate thing, well, I guess the Union haven't moved, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that everybody is in command control, but actually I would not always do that. No, I would not always do that. All right, so 1-1 is where? 1-1 is there, is here. So they execute their free facing movement, and then they move, it would be 4. It would not be +1 for the Confederate zone of control because it's being exerted into a woods hex. And these guys have to stay together, well, to stay in command control. Free change, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I know I want to do that, and then otherwise, what to do? I want to talk about this one, starting on the Union far right. I want this unit to turn and fire. So changing the facing of a unit alone does not constitute movement. Thus, a unit may change facing and then fire or do any other action. So I do want to turn them like that, but I still want to know, does that elicit? No, if it's not movement, then it would not elicit advance fire, and it's obviously not en passant fire. That looks a little odd, but I'm going to go ahead and play with that. So they reoriented themselves, and they'll fire at, I'm not sure who they well, yeah, obviously they're going to fire here, so they can get I think they're going to get the target density bonus there. Okay, let's see what happens here. So this is what happened here, because there's a player decision. Great stuff, great stuff. So the two Union fire at this stack that is, here's the target here that I have spread out here. Union fire 2 companies. They have a base firepower of 8. It's up 1, or down 1, I mean. So that was a down 1 for woods, up 2 for density, because that's +1 for each strength point above 3. And there are 5 here, 5 companies. So that's +2. Then it's down 2 for the advanced fire marker. Yeah, for a net -1. So they roll a 2. A 2 on the 6 to 7 line is a D result. So I got out the disrupted marker. Now, again, here's I still don't understand what's going on with this. You can attempt to take an O hit instead of a disruption by passing a disorganization check. All right, so I still don't know what's involved here, but the morale for 1-1 is a factor, right? It's 6. It's not bad. I should say that's above average. It would be +1 for the flag for 7, +1 for leader for 8. So if they wanted to try to pass a disorganization check, they have a 90% chance of passing. But then they get an O hit. Why do you want an O hit? O hits are always permanent. I can understand if you could make up O hits, but you can't. So why would I take a permanent 1-0 hit instead of a disruption when, what's the effect? Okay, so they have their regimental flag with them. So I believe that, well, they do automatically rally. Now, I don't know if they automatically rally. I can't figure out right now. Can't find the rule, but I can't remember if they can automatically rally still within an EZOC. But in any case, there's such a preponderance of friendly firepower here to the nearest adjacent enemy, to adjacent enemy. I just do not understand this mechanic of choosing to pass a disorganization check to take an O hit. It's not like you're choosing to pass a disorganization check, and if you pass, then you're good, and if you fail, you take an O1. You're trying to get an O1 instead of a disruption. Again, I think I'm going to still have to continue experimenting. So I'm going to do what to me sounds, what's the word? Non-intuitive. Yeah. So they went ahead. They easily passed their disorganization check. So they take so they're not going to be disrupted, and they'll take the O1 hit instead. No, flags have to be on top. There's a big stack, but then again, that is a whole regiment. Yeah, so that's that. So what it's worth, as well, some commentary now. That's the end of the P2 or Union Action segment. Oh, when we go to the game turn segment. So, yeah. So we will pick up next with the P1 or Confederate Small Arms Fire segment of turn 2. But let's look at what happened here. I mean, fairly easily got into a flanking position here, but the Union were still able to start to refuse their flank there. Here, I mean, wow. And look at the correlation. Where the Confederates advanced in the clear, they got blown back, routed, disrupted, etc., etc. Took some losses in here, but no routing. But definitely took some losses throughout here. I wish it was easy to lay it all out, but I'm not going to, because I think this is how it's supposed to look. Regimental flags on top. Now when we go to wasn't that interesting? This turn sequence just never, so far, does not fail to offer up all sorts of interesting ideas. So we're going to the Confederate Small Arms Fire. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Yeah, I wish I could hold this up, but it's underneath the plastic. So in the second half of the turn, P1 Confederates take a second action phase. Well, even better after that, there's a P2 action phase. So the Union blow apart the Confederate line, but the Confederates still get to do small arms fire before their first action segment when they have to check command control. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe the bottom line here is that, and I know all turn sequences are, there's a word for it, but all turn, no matter what, a turn sequence is not literal time. Okay, I guess they are getting off small arms fire before, I guess, the effects of being out of command are felt. Okay. But it is interesting. So when I start up the next time, at the start of the turn 2, the Confederates are going to have their small arms fire segment, and then they're going to go through a Union action segment. So if the Union were moving a lot, which I'm not going to have them do a lot of moving, the Confederates could fire then, and it's only when we get all the way to the G segment that we're going to check. So I'm wondering how much command control got messed up here, right? So 4343. I know these guys are all consolidated. They're all one regiment, if I remember correctly, but these guys are 4242. So where's the rest of 42? Oh, okay, that is 42. So I was wrong. It's not all 42 consolidated there. So isn't that interesting? The two stacks that got blown back are 42. So actually, I guess there might not be command control issues quite yet. Very interesting, fascinating. So now the question is, and we haven't even gotten to the sub-formations, but there's a big difference between advancing in the clear, which you would expect, versus advancing through the woods. Now what we really need to get is, are there at least large-scale penalties in disorganization to attacking through the woods? I mean, when I get up to the full rules, all 7 modules, there's got to be. Otherwise this game will have failed in an area that so many games do in making woods, quote-unquote woods, too beneficial. Anyways.